What is up? Check meters. Welcome to the Kill Pete Strategy. I'm here with Phoenix. This is lesson
Hey, Pete, how
4.
you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Oh, wonderful. Living the life.
Welcome. So, what do you have for me today?
You've been playing a lot.
Yeah,
You've hit 100
and
games
badly.
already.
Very
Badly.
badly. Yes.
Dude, we
I'm
all play
shocked.
badly.
I'm shocked how badly. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about
Yeah, definitely.
what the hell um was going on with me before that I'm just not able to do right now. I'm wondering what it is. I think I was getting lucky. I was making accidental good moves that I'm not making anymore. So I think
I
it's
think
my skill is
that
like still leveling off.
it definitely is still leveling off. I
Yeah.
think you probably have selective memory about the moves that you made or the level that you were performing at, and then we tend to remember our wins and forget our losses very quickly, which is a great thing to keep on going. But when
Mm.
you look back at it, and I do this a lot, I look over my statistics on how I did with openings and certain things like that, and I'm often wrong. Like the stats don't bear out my impression of it. So I think that you have maybe not run the numbers on how well you were doing. So
Okay.
let's take a look at that. I actually don't know how you were doing, but you have been at about the same rating since you started playing on June 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, on June 7th, you were 745 rapid, and today you are 735. And 10 points is meaningless. That's like
Right.
a rounding error. So you are the exact same rating that you've been.
Okay.
Your games, when you scroll back in your history, it's all red. It's all loss, 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 loss.
Mm-hmm.
And then on June 16th, you had 4 wins and 3 losses, so you won. Now let me ask you, did you remember on June 16th that you won more than you lost?
I feel like June 16th was before the most recent lesson. So
No,
I know.
no,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't
What
because
was 7 days
no,
ago?
that was Monday.
Okay. 14.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So you actually won more that day.
That's a good day.
Yeah, you lost on the 17th, and then when you played on the 19th, you had 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. So you have these up and down days. So
Mm-hmm.
the answer to your question is why are you playing worse is you're not.
No, okay, that's good.
Yeah, you're not. But when we look at the way that we perform, there are a lot of different ways to judge it. We could go off of wins and losses,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes a person will. I always make this joke that like a person can be winning a game for a lot of the time, and then they blunder at the end, and then the opponent wins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The person who was doing well and blundered feels awful because they let it slip,
Mm-hmm.
right? They did something dumb. But the person who won the game also feels bad because they were losing the whole game and they got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So the game happened and both players feel bad about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
This
unsatisfying for
happens
both
so
people.
much
Right.
in chess. You have to just take the good dice rolls and the bad dice rolls, the good cap rolls and the bad cap rolls. You just have to take it that way and recognize that your rating is the same as it was 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. It's perfectly fine. You're getting more familiar with patterns, and that's what we're going to actually talk about today. I have some games queued up for you
Okay.
to go through. You've now played 111 games. I have selected 3 of them
Okay.
to discuss with you. Ones that I felt when I went through, they actually counted for something and were pretty meaningful. So, are you in your study right now?
Yes.
Okay, chapter 13,
Yeah.
I believe. Perfect. So, this was a game against Glue Glue Mignon. I know what mignon means, but I have no idea what glue glue means. So, perhaps it's pasty or something. Okay, so you were playing black, okay? E4, and you responded with a pawn in the center, E5, which is what I taught you to do, which is excellent. Here's a weird thing, okay? He plays F3, right? How do you feel about that move?
No, I feel no way about that move.
Okay, in a couple classes now, the key mistake here has been an F3 move, and the tactical puzzles that I've assigned you for 2 weeks of homework is to do attacks on F2
Okay.
right here and F7. So this should immediately jump out at you as a mistake because one, it weakens the king this way. Two, when the king is castled, it weakens the king that way. And three, if the king is castled, it weakens the rank. Meanwhile, it blocks the natural development of the knight. So this knight, it was meant to attack the center pawn, causing black to have to guard it. And now instead, black has to do no such thing. So immediately, we should be recognizing tactical patterns of a queen in here. We're not going to do it yet. That's not necessary. But we are going to start thinking about those kinds of things and recognizing that. So one of the keys to this game is not recognizing when things can go right for us or not recognizing when things are about to go wrong. So let's progress through this. So standing up these pawns in the center is a great idea, except for the fact that this blocks the development of the bishop. Typically, when you push a center pawn, you want to put the bishop on the outside first.
Okay.
Why? In this particular position, this move f3 should be a signal in the brain of this crisscross fire. All right. So when we see a weakness on squares, the next thing we do is look at what pieces act on those squares, and that's this guy. His primary responsibility is guarding the dark square diagonals. So that's why I would have loved to see instead this,
Hmm.
because this shows a couple things. One, you're doing your homework, your chores, which are control the center. He does that. Develop a piece, which means get it off the back rank, which we did, and prepare castling, which we do by getting a piece out. So this meets all three of our chores, right? And so we have these three tasks on our list that we must accomplish before we can go outside and play. And in chess, going outside and playing means attacking the king. So we must finish our chores before we can go play, and that is get the pieces out, control the center, and castle. So that's a great move to do. So this is somewhat decent because it does a few of those things. It lets a piece out. Fortunately, it doesn't have very far to go. It does control the center. However, it does not help us to castle. So
Hmm.
that's why I would have preferred either knight f6 or bishop c5. The main problem here is that it blocks this bishop, and now we can no longer execute attacks on the g1 king when the king arrives there. However, minor mistakes, but something to keep in mind is when we see something goes, that's not right, we should be thinking, well, what does it weaken? And again, it's this. Okay? So we'll move on from that. D3 is not a great move for the same reasons. You get a piece out, wonderful. And then here we have something that I've noticed a while. I'd like you to explain to me the move knight c6 and why you went with that one, if you can recall.
Sure. Um, I think if he doesn't take my pawn, I can take it.
Sure. That's what I was hoping you would say. Are
Yeah.
there any other things about this move that would be a good idea or anything like that? Or any other thoughts that went through your head when you decided that was the best move?
No.
Okay. So the other things I see is that it develops a piece and that it controls the center. So these are three moves that are a good idea. Now we do have something in the center and it attacks that. That's great. However, um, the main problem with this move, the main drawback is that actually white has a powerful response of d5. And what this does is it continues the chain. So one of these mantras that I mentioned early on was I would ask you, why would somebody play a pawn move? And the response has always got to be because they want to play the next pawn move. So in this case, I would say to you, why would somebody play d4? And so no matter what the position, your response should be because they want to play d5.
Okay.
If I ever ask you why would somebody play a4, the answer is always because they want to play a5. Now, it may be the wrong thing in that position. That's not why we say it. We say it because when you go to a game, you're going to see a move like that, and you're going to cock your head to the side and go, somebody play. And then you're going, oh, Phoenix, this is his mantra. This is what he says. And you're going to instantly see why and see the threat.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do it. Hey, Pete, why would somebody play d4?
They want to play d5.
Right. So when you play knight c6, how does that d5 move look to you?
Worse than it was before.
Yeah, so your knight's attacked. It's going to have to move twice. We don't like that. And then here's the other thing. This is a very stable pawn controlling this square. If this knight hops forward, he's really short on places to go. None of these squares are any good for him to land on. His best case is going back to a6. We used to have a knight in the center, and now we get a knight on the rim. So like something like that real quick.
Yeah.
Now we got a knight way over here, not in the center. And who owns the center? Well, white has advanced way past it. So what should we do instead in this sort of situation? In this case, because white had the nerve, the gall, the wherewithal to play a pawn in our face, we get rid of that sucker.
Mm-hmm.
And now if white wishes to take something, to take this pawn back right away, they have to take it with a queen. And now we hit him with knight c6. Because the difference is this attacks a queen,
Mm-hmm.
whereas before it attacked a pawn. This is the major difference.
Yeah.
The queen no longer cannot attack this knight. First of all, it's guarded, right? And second of all, it can't do what the pawn did and do something like this. The pawn did that, but
Yeah. It doesn't work
black
so well for a
wins,
queen.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is why. So then the queen would have to go back, and then we develop a piece, and then they develop a piece, and then we develop a piece, and then they develop a piece, and we castle, and now we're golden. Now we're gonna go boop boop, okay, and we're gonna win the game that way. So backing up a second, when you see a pawn in the center like this,
Mm.
and you say, "Wait a minute, I controlled that square. I did what I was supposed to. He put a pawn in the center. I put a pawn in the center. How does he get to put this pawn here anyhow? I should have stopped that." It's because you can just take it, usually. It's going to be an even trade, but it's better than leaving it there. And so, once again, though, why would somebody play d4?
Because they want to play d5.
Right. So, let's not give them a way to make d5 a good move with knight c6. So, you played this and they took it. Yay. Good. I'm glad. You took with the knight. I think that's appropriate. I don't. Players overrate this trade. They trade for queen. What they
Oh,
don't
I
realize
was
is
gonna. I was actually gonna comment on that. So I go for
Mhm.
that every time.
Taking the queen.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. So I have found that trying to parse the possible queen positions is impossible for me, and
Okay.
I will lose games because of it. So it is a lot easier to limit the number of possible opponent moves that exist. I'm not even going to say easier. It's possible. My brain can do it at all, as opposed to right, just completely like
So queens are
you're
typically very hard. A lot of
yeah.
people have problems with knights, but I
Right.
will tell you that you just articulated something that is very, 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 very common.
Okay.
In fact, I dare say universal among
Sure.
new players.
Sure.
You said, "Oh, I'm going to tell you why," and I was like, "Well, I already know,"
Yeah, I already know why. Yeah, yeah,
because
got it.
I've been
Okay.
coaching chess a long time,
Sure.
and that is pretty much what everybody tells me, top to bottom. Now, here's the problem with that. Now, as a particular move, that's okay, but people believe that if they trade pieces, the situation becomes simpler. Okay. In actuality, what happens is when they trade, their position becomes worse. This is a key lesson that people need to know. And all chess players have to ingrain in them if they're going to get better is that you are saying the equivalent of saying, I've crashed on this island, on this desert island. I've got this boat. You know, it's got stuff in it, right? It's got knives and it's got crates and it's got whatever blankets and stuff. And
Mm.
you're like, how can I make it out of this survival situation? I know what I'll do. I will throw all my stuff in the ocean. That way, I won't have to think of a solution anymore.
Well,
It's like
that's not a
cool,
good metaphor
but
though, because if I'm
that's
being attacked by a
yeah.
person of equal strength, and you
Hmm.
know, I cut their arm off and I lose my arm, right? That's the
right?
actual
This
situation.
is
That's the metaphor.
right. So let's cut their arm off, but keep our arm.
Keep our arm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
that's unrealistic.
Uh, yeah, if you sure. If yeah, if you're happy with like, slap fighting, but if you want to get in the ring, right, with the heavyweight boxers and you want to train for boxing, we're not going to be like, well, let's just agree not to really hit each other too hard. You're going to
Mhm.
be like, I need the weapons that I came to battle with.
Okay.
And so for every trade, here's the thing about chess is that there are two players. There is no such thing as a move that is good for both of them. There's no such thing as good for both sides. It is either good for white or it is good for black.
Oh.
And so anytime we calculate some sort of move, we need to figure out the answer to that question and then do it. And we can't do things like I just not good with queens. It has to be something where you're
So
like
so
my
how can
queen is
that
better than their queen.
I'm obviously not presuming to disagree, but how can that be true? How can there not be such a thing as a neutral move?
Uh, it is a seesaw. Okay,
Hmm.
chess is a seesaw.
Right.
If one side goes up, the other side goes down. That has to be the only way this can work.
Okay.
You can play the best move, and so we can consider it like unchanged. But that's one philosophy is like you can take a position in front of you, and if the other side plays the best move, one approach would say, well, then nothing has changed. It's still the same quality position.
Hmm.
I prefer to think of it as because there is a multitude of choices and you choose the best one that you have improved because you had the option to be worse. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I have a choice between a $100 bill, a
Yep.
$10 bill, and a $1 bill.
Yep.
Some people would say, well, if you choose the 100 because you already had that option, you haven't gotten any richer because you had the option to take in the 100. And I'm like, well, I feel like I got $100 richer. So the point here is that you should look at every move as an opportunity to push your seesaw up or push their other side down. So when we think about queen trades, you shouldn't be, I'm not good with queens, they're not good with queens. It should be, their queen is better positioned than mine, so trade it. Or I'm up material, so trade it. Or I'm down material, so don't trade it.
Hmm.
And these are rules that you get used to when you get better at chess. For example, I'm attacking the king and they are defending, therefore I do not trade the queen, things like that. I trade the dark squared bishops because my dark square bishop is worse than their dark square bishop, things like that. And actually, that's going to come up in a game in a little bit when you play white. I think it's in against Macy. No, we'll see. We'll see which one that's in. It's in one of the next two.
Hmm.
So, but we'll keep that in mind. We'll keep in mind that we have to be objective when we calculate trades because in chess there's nothing subjective. But we'll move forward with this one here. So we play knight takes e5, and g3 comes. And this is, again, a weakening of squares.
Yeah, that
These
looks
two
like a
squares,
weak move.
it is a weak move.
Yeah.
Can you suggest a better one for white?
Almost anything.
Almost anything. That's
Get
right.
a night out.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Even
That
king through.
that move looked terrible to me at the time.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you are getting this sort of skill development.
Somewhat. Yeah. I
Name
mean,
three good moves for white then. We'll check your
all right. We
homework.
can put knight on c3.
Go ahead
We
and make
could.
that move.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Oh, look at that.
But yeah, today. Yeah, if you want to show me stuff and click stuff, you certainly the board is live. I can see what you're doing. So
Cool. Yeah.
yeah, so that's one. Anything else? Give me
Um.
two more.
I mean, do something with the bishop. I don't know though where it would be good.
Okay, a
Like
rule of thumb.
like there.
Sure.
I don't hate.
I like that move.
Yeah.
Yeah, a rule of thumb is that, and this is totally a rule of thumb, so you really have to take this like with a grain
Okay.
of salt and be
Yep.
careful, is that the bishop should go as far forward as they can go
Yeah.
without being
Yeah.
captured.
Without being threatened. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
very vague rule. It's like there's it really doesn't hold up in a lot of scenarios, but like you'd be surprised how much it does. So yeah, I would bet that probably going one square further is a little bit better, but it truly does not. It's so situational, but
Sure.
it's a good
Yeah.
guess.
It depends.
That's why we call it rule of thumb.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So so you mentioned here and you mentioned here. All right. Now here's the true test. Why are those good moves?
Um. So the knight, it's moving a piece It's preparing for castling, like you said, right? It's either protecting or threatening things. Right? I feel like it's just advancing the
Right.
game state.
Right. Well, these precisely these control the center. The knight controls these two squares. The bishop controls this one, so it controls the center, and they develop pieces. So two out of the three chores. The only thing that could be better would be like moving these guys. So I would say maybe bishop to like here, and then knight behind, and then get castled.
Sure.
However, because white has played terrible moves, I no longer like castling anyway, and I'm forced to go this way. So for that reason, I like this. I like this. Probably like this, and then castle. That would be my plan. But like white's already ruined their game, so it's hard for me to say what my plan would be. And
Okay.
now G3 is absolutely terrible. Uh, it weakens this square, it weakens this square, and now the king is slightly weaker. I'm thinking about automatically just going boop boop take, but we don't need to dwell on this. You got a piece out, wonderful, and they push another pawn. Another pawn. Ooh, this is just awful business. And now, so you do go forward. Here's the thing about knights. Knights have trouble getting back out. When a pawn attacks a knight, that pawn is still existing. Notice you move the knight away and the pawn is still there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no avenue back out. Knights do not slide along lines like the other pieces. This bishop can slide all the way and then slide halfway back again.
Yeah.
All the other pieces can do that except knights and pawns. I guess the king moves one square, so there's no such thing as sliding. But the bishop, queen, and rook all slide along lines. Well, the knight doesn't. So when you have to realize that this door is closed. So if it gets attacked, it has to figure out another way home. Again, you've got this square. So we saw you do this earlier when you knight out. If the opponent just played d5, you'd go here and then c3 and then back. Do you remember this
Mm-hmm. Yes.
in the very opening?
These are
Right?
bad
Knight,
moves. Okay.
pawn, knight, and our knight's here. So you did the same thing here. You went knight, and then they could just go h3, and then you have to go knight, and then it's worse than it was before. So instead, let's put this knight somewhere that it can actually control the center. And so I just like this. And now I'm controlling these two central squares again.
Okay.
But the key point here is when a knight is attacked by a pawn, you've got to be super. If you can go forward, that's usually a good idea, but you have to be careful and check it because it'll get trapped,
Sure. You don't want knights in the corners.
be traded for something. Well, you definitely don't want knights in the corners, but they tend to just get run down. They're clumsy pieces, so they tend to get chased away. Okay, so wonderful. I am reconnecting apparently to lead chess. There we are. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we are on e5, right? Was actually okay. So you played the knight and he played e5. Another bad move. Um, I don't understand all these pawn pushes here. So what you should do to answer a pawn push is do a couple things. Okay, you have what is called a lead in development. This is development, and you're 3-0 on the board, right?
Yeah.
So you did the correct thing, but in general, what you want to do is open the position. You want to check your king status. Your king is safe, and then open the position. And you want to be able to develop pieces and go, go, go. Last week we talked about static advantages and dynamic advantages. Material is static; it'll exist as long as you keep it, right? If you want a pawn, you have the pawn until you've lost it, right? This development lead is a dynamic advantage. And so what we want to do is attack with that stuff. So what we want to think about doing is getting the rest of our pieces out, arming ourselves for battle, and going faster than the other guy. So right now you have 3-0, right? So what you need to be thinking about is going 4-1. You want to get this bishop out, and then he'll maybe develop a piece like this, and now it's 4-1.
Okay.
Okay, and we want to keep going. So you did the correct thing of taking here, and then he took the queen. Now, tell me what you're thinking now. So you're almost like you have to take the queen because you're otherwise you're checkmated, right?
Yeah.
So you have to take it.
Yeah, I definitely
Um,
should take with the rook
how come?
because it moves the rook and it activates it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, it activates a rook and it preserves your right to castle. So when the queens come off the board, castling is not a very big deal, except Here's the thing. Castling, we've been taught for centuries, is about protecting the king. It's lately been discovered that it's actually slightly more about developing a rook.
Yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
with the king in the way, the rooks can't come out. So it turns out, and we just discussed why. We have a lead in development. So what we want to do is take the queen. Now it is 4 against none. And we're almost checkmating the king. Okay, if I put a light squared bishop here, I could play rook mate in one move. If I just had a light squared bishop. So, which brings me into my next point. Knight move. Now, do you see why I said it's 4-1?
Yeah.
Earlier it was 3-0. Now it's 4-1. Whoops. Let's play this move and then this move. And now it's 3-1. So what I would next do is probably, do I want to advance? You could, but I would probably play something like this, threatening a check. Now you missed a threat here. So in the game you actually took with the king. Unfortunate because now it's still 3-0, and now your rook is stuck.
Yeah, that was
So
just
much
that
better
was
move.
obviously a terrible move. I can see it now.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
glad that you see that. Okay, great. So F takes, and your knight is attacked, and you took back. Good. At your stage, I'm like, every time your piece is attacked, I'm like, will he see it? And then you do, and I go, yay. So you saw it.
Not
Okay, your piece
always.
is attacked. Will you see it? No. Okay, but I'm glad you found this. This rook has been trapped. You haven't.
Yeah.
I've been looking at that for the past few moves, but actually, you never had an opportunity to get to it because there was a queen
Yeah,
there
well,
before.
exactly. If my knight is attacked, I'll trade a knight for a
Right.
rook here.
Aha. So you played knight EG4. Okay. So I was clicking off. I was actually looking at my own analysis, I think. So you played knight EG4,
Sure.
which okay, but again, this knight is going a little bit toward the edge of the board and doesn't have any forward landing squares.
Yeah.
A lot of people will call these support points, or sometimes they're in a certain formation they're called outposts. But if you do this after H3, your knight has to retreat, and it doesn't have anywhere to go other than that square. Notice the difference. So in the future, when you have a knight that is under attack, if you want to point it forward, that's fine, but you need to make sure that it can go somewhere forward. So, like this would be a good move because it attacks this pawn. Let's suppose he sees that, which he probably won't, but let's see. Now we actually have a way we can come back. You see how much better I am in the center?
Yeah.
I may consider, if I had more time to think, I may consider this move to come into the center. But this is so much better than this. We don't like it. We don't like knights on the edge. So
Yeah.
next time you're threatened with moving a knight and you want to move it forward, that's fine. But you need to think about, what if it gets stabbed by a pawn? Does it have somewhere to go that's not like to the edge? Okay. So here we go. B3. I don't know why. And now here's the big miss. Doink. Okay. I like that you're developing a piece. However, let's follow at least one of the rules that says let's go as far forward as we can. Right?
Check the king.
Right. So at least this is a check. Now, it'll probably block with c3 and you go back, but this is actually fine.
Oh, why would I want
This is
that?
totally
Why would
fine.
I want to let them move a pawn forward?
Okay. Why? Well, the main reason here is that you've blocked the knight.
Hmm.
And we're playing a lead in development. And so what we want to do is prevent development as much as we can. We want to fluster the pieces and discombobulate them, discoordinate them. And so what we're talking about here is drawing a pawn to the natural knight square. So now the knight has to go this way if it wants to play the game. So that's why. It's a free check. Now, if you thought in the game that that's not good, if you don't like that square, then go here. It's the next forward square. We can rule this one out. There's a knight there. You can calculate this, and if you don't like c3, fine. Let's rule that out. So these are bad. I think I can go like this. So those are bad. So let's go here.
Yeah.
And now we see some benefits. That could be a check coming. Check, please. Okay. However, I do want to point out one thing. Time for another exercise, okay? Targeting system. Do you remember the targeting system from last week and the week before?
Probably.
Okay, this is my special thing. I'll say it again for this show. for the audience here, if this is your first time watching, a target is any piece that is attacked and defended the same amount of times or attacked more, plus the king. And remember, 0 is a number. So if it's attacked no times and defended no times, that's equal. So it is a target. So Pete, I want you to go left to right. I want you to right click on every piece or pawn that is a target, meaning it is attacked and defended, or is attacked the same or more times than it is defended.
Um, that is attacked and defended once.
Good. Let's do white though.
Oh,
For you would in a real game you would look at both sides, correct? Let's do white in the interest of time.
well, so this
Left to
is
right, sir. Left to
defended.
right.
Oh, what?
Let's go left to right.
Okay. This
Why do
knight.
we do that? It's systematic and it forces you to look at whole things. Yeah, that's attacked and defended once each. Good.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
else?
Um. Yeah, this pawn. It's defended
Okay.
twice.
So that is defended twice and attacked only once.
Right.
So it is not the same amount of times, so it is
Right.
not a target.
Okay.
And also it's not attacked more.
Yeah.
I call it the same. It should be the same or more times. So not a target. So let's go back. You said the pawn, that's correct. Let's
That's
start on the
all.
left.
That's all I see.
How many times? Okay, how many times is this rook attacked?
0.
How many times is it defended?
0.
Does 0 equal 0? So it
This
is
is
a
some sort of
target.
weird math puzzle that doesn't work with my
No,
brain.
it's not.
Yeah.
No, it is attacked and defended the same amount of times.
Yeah.
This rook is attacked and defended the same amount of times, 0.
Okay.
Okay, so that is defended once. That's not it. That's defended twice. That's not it. This is defended. This is defended one time. Attacked none. That's not a target. The king is always a target.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay.
This is attacked and defended no times. This is attacked and defended no times. Right? So
Yeah.
these are your targets. So here's what I see. I see diagonals to targets. Oops. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I see ranks to targets. I see 1 rank and I see 2 ranks. So my eyes go to a couple things. Can I put any bishops on those diagonals? Or can I put any rooks on those ranks? So I instantly see that I can. And then I say, what can white do to save the rook? And it immediately occurs to me that they can do nothing. And that is a lost rook. So
Mm.
here's the thing, though. That rook is a target from the beginning of the game. So it's been there the whole time. I know that this seems complicated at first when you initially look at a position. But the thing is, after every single move, most of the targets are still the same targets. They're still the same ones.
Yeah.
We already talked about attacking this diagonal. So now I'm also saying, oh, what if I go here and they don't realize that my threat is like this? And then I start calculating that kind of thing. Or I go here and I say, how can I get those rooks to the back rank? Oh, after I do that, I go rook up. Bang. Stuff like that. So this is the tactical vision, but this is just a straight up win of a rook.
Mm-hmm.
Instant win. So how do we find that stuff? Right in the middle game when our pieces are out, we start looking at the targets and trying to take them. I have some videos on my channel of me doing tactic puzzles talking about the targeting system. I invite anybody to check those out and see how you think through everything from the lowest ratings, which are like 200 level puzzles, all the way up to 2600 puzzles. I think I have a 2600 I got correct based on the targeting system. So anybody wants to get better at tactics, please check those out. So let's step forward through your game a bit. Good ideas. We're attacking in the center. I love this. And there, finally, we get that rook. Oh, you found it. Excellent work. So now we can go after the king because this is a target and this is a target. So I'm immediately wanting to put a rook here. Doink. We go like this. Now here's my question. How do we end up losing this game?
Because I
Like
suck.
that. So let's back let's back up.
I don't know. Like what? I
Okay,
have no expectation of
sure.
being able to
It-
understand what the hell's going on. Like I really feel like I oftentimes I've noticed I'll get checkmated out of nowhere,
oh,
or
okay.
I'll lose pieces out of nowhere, and like I couldn't even fathom to guess how.
Okay. So the key word there is well, I forget how you phrased it exactly, was I can't understand what's going on
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Right? All right, let's take this. Let's talk about what's going on. What was the last move played?
The bishop.
Okay. What does the bishop do now that it didn't do on the previous move?
It attacks the rook.
Okay. So this is the first thought that we have to have is what changed in the position? What does the piece do now that it didn't do before?
Mm.
And also, we think about where was it before? What does it no longer control? It no longer controls these two squares. Turns out to be irrelevant in this situation, but it may not be in others.
Mm.
So this seems like a big deal. It doesn't, in fact, attack a rook. So you already just figured out the position and made sense of it. It is possible to do, but what we have to do is execute a well-oiled machine in an order of thinking. So first thing we do is what changed in the position. The second thing we do is where are the targets? And the third thing we do is what am I trying to accomplish here? So stepping through this, I say what changed in the position. You already told me it attacks the rook. Okay. Where are the targets in the position? So let's do this again. On the white side of the board, you click things that are undefended or attacked and defended the same amount of times, plus the king. Go ahead and highlight those for us.
Oh, okay. So this is neither attacked nor defended.
Right.
And
Target. You're
same with
getting it.
this. Same
Target.
with
Perfect.
this
What else? Yeah,
thing, right?
almost. Yep.
Well, this is the bishop is not a target, correct?
It is defended none and attacked none.
Right. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. So everything.
And then almost. There you go. Now you're right. Okay.
What's going on over there?
What's that? So the knight is defended by the rook.
Ah.
So it's not target. So
Okay.
I say, okay, well, how's about I attack something? So like this is a good move. It attacks the target. This is a good move. It attacks the target. This is a good move. It attacks the target. So any of these are possible replies. Okay. So that's how we go ahead and make sense of a position. What changed? Where are the targets? What am I trying to do? In this situation, you are up a piece. Oh, excuse me, you're up a rook. Uh, it's weird. A rook is called a piece, but when we say up a piece, we usually mean a knight or bishop. It's jargon. So you're up a rook. So you want to trade down pieces or checkmate the king. So here I would just be trying to trade down pieces. I'd play like this, try to take more stuff, take this guy, check, take him if I can. That's my goal. So that's how we make sense of a position. H4 or H5. Why what happens there? Why H5?
I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to kill that pawn.
Okay. So when we have one move, remember this is what we talked about. These edge pawns are waste moves. These are pass moves. These are I don't want to do anything and I don't want to think about it anymore. So what we should be looking at is what piece can I do something with? Your first look in a position, if you're not sure what you should be moving, ought to be the most powerful pieces on the board. So that's where I would go. My eyes would go to my back rank. I'm always reaching for the pieces on the back rank to make them do something. It's like my hand instinctively just reaches back there. So I'd just be grabbing this dude instantaneously. Um, so that's a couple things that lead you to the rook move. So next time you're lost in a position, just ask yourself, like, where are the targets? What's something I can attack, and what do I have to move on my own side? Here we go. We'll keep going. Material is totally even. I love it. You're taking stuff, but you're losing a bishop. So again, here it is. What changed in the position? He's being sneaky. I have to give him I have to give him credit though, your opponent credit here for attacking a bishop without making it look like he was. It's a sneaky thing. You can get people on that a lot, but yeah, we should be checking that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Better move taking that pawn, something like this, check. Because this actually does this win the knight? Almost wins a knight. Um, now the king would have to like step back, and our bishop is safe. Tough to see. So I'm not gonna belabor that point too
Well,
much.
yeah. So like the whole like tough to see thing
Sure.
is like I I have your voice in my head when I play the whole like if I didn't see it then I didn't look. But I've noticed that that doesn't actually help. It just makes me think I'm an idiot. Like I see
Oh
things after
no,
no right. I
that's
see them after they
the
happen,
opposite of
and I
what I'm
go,
going for.
well, no. I feel look. I feel like this exercise is. At what point do you collect enough data to say you lack the ability? Right. Like
Hmm.
I'm looking to see if I can see what the pieces do. And I find myself frustrated by an inability. And you're going through steps and like you're explaining it, and
Yes.
I always see it when it is shown, but in the
Hmm.
moment I don't necessarily. And I find that very
Okay.
strange.
Right. This
Like there's something
yeah,
wrong with
it's
my vision.
target lock is the problem.
Okay?
Okay, target lock. What that is when you have dedicated your vision and your mind to a single piece or section of the board.
Mm.
And so there are difficult tactical puzzles. They're high rated puzzles, okay, on any of the sites. Chess Tempo, chess.com, Lead Chess, puzzles that are like rated over 2000, and the answer is a mate in one. All it is one move. One move is checkmate. You just literally pick up the piece, check the king, game over. And these are tough to see. Why? Because the people who do the puzzles look in the wrong spot and they don't do it correctly. They aren't playing tactics correctly, which is you count the material, you look at checks and captures, you say what are the targets, and then you go after those and you start your calculation. And what people will do is they'll miss the most simple things because they don't execute that pattern of thought. And so they get locked in on saying, I must move this rook, I must move this queen. Or in your case, you moved a knight. I'll show you exactly where it happens. Right there, you attacked a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
You locked on the knight, you locked on the pawn. And when he moved a knight, you said, that doesn't guard the pawn. I attacked the pawn. You failed to guard the
Yes.
pawn.
Yeah.
Therefore, knight and pawn
Except he
are
gets
the
the
only two
bishop.
things I look at instead of what did my opponent do? What is his trick? Being
It's a
suspicious
good trick.
about that. So the right answer here would be that
Yeah.
attacking a knight. So this is an exact example of target lock, and I can tell as a coach, I know this because you moved when you made this mistake, the piece you moved in making the mistake is the one you made on the last
Move
move.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, you moved the knight twice in a row. That's exactly how I know. Okay, that's precisely what happens here. So, um, I have more games I'd like to get through.
Yeah.
We've been
From
at it a
here I
while, so
just
we're just gonna
die,
look at
right?
this. What's that?
From here I imagine I die.
Well, you're actually pretty good. Here, 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 here. And now you're playing Horde.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easier.
Right. Okay.
But
Yeah. So
it
check,
doesn't
check,
work.
check, check here. And right here, you resign.
Yeah.
I want to come back to this in a second.
Sure.
I'm going to come back to this position in a moment when you lost the game. Um, we'll get to that. Hopefully, the audience is screaming for me to talk about that. We will. So, right here, you lose your rook.
Mm-hmm.
You actually traded the rook. Fine. That's okay. Now, we're going to do this the right way, okay? What does the last move do that it didn't do before?
Well,
Like, what is the What's changed on that last
The
move?
king just moved a little bit more to the middle.
So it moved closer to these pawns, and it moved further from this pawn, right? Also, it stepped onto this specific square. So one thing you should see is that this check two different ways. You could. I'm not saying to play that. That's not what we're doing. We're saying what changed in the position. Now I'm aware there are checks. Cool. Now, what are the targets in the position? Go ahead and click them for us.
Everything.
Almost. Not
Oh, the
everything.
king defends the knight.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
The king defends the
Perfect.
knight
So, can we attack either of those two things?
currently.
We can attack the king two different ways.
Oh,
Right?
okay,
Now,
sure.
secondly, we want to invest our moves in the most powerful piece that we have left. Remember earlier I said we probably want to be looking at rooks
Okay.
because that's what I had available on the back rank. Okay. What's our most powerful piece here?
The knight.
You would think so.
It's not. It's the
That's what
king.
everybody would think, and is
Okay.
actually the king. The king is worth, guys, as a general rule, the king is worth 4.
Hmm.
I know it can't be traded, so you can never like count. You can't trade it for 5 pawns and be like, "Yeah, I'm winning." But as an attacking power, as an attacking force, it is worth more than a bishop and less than a rook. So it's 4. And so that is our most powerful piece.
Okay.
So in this case, we say, I can't checkmate the king with what I've got on the board. I need more reinforcements. Therefore, I must queen a pawn. So that means we're in an endgame. So we will follow the rule king up in an endgame.
Hmm.
That's a simple. It's simple. King up. You can fling that guy up the board and he'll be fine because we're in an endgame. There's no chance of him getting checkmated. If there were a chance of him getting checkmated, we would not be in an endgame. We would be in a middle game. So here, white can't checkmate black. Black cannot checkmate white without queening a pawn. So we use our king. So my plan is to go. I look at this guy. I say you're very weak. So I will go here, 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 and here, and then eat you. And then I will go here, 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 and here. Queen. Meanwhile, these pawns are dead to rights because the king is too close. Every move we invest in this pawn is a wasted move because the king is going to eat it. And in
Okay.
fact, the king is not free from the prison or the job of watching this pawn until it is eaten. So he's already going to go eat this pawn. So let's play this, just as an example. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's eat this guy. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. And there. Now we have a completely winning game. I'm up 3 pawns.
Hmm.
Boop, 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 and boop. Okay. Simple example. Now, we instead push the pawn. He's dead. Simple advice. Don't push pawns that are near the white king. They'll get eaten. He's dead. He's dead, man. Cut your losses. Invest in something else, namely the king. So now we know. And Ryu said, when do you have enough data points to know that you don't have ability? It's not actually about winning and losing. It's about whether you learn from mistakes, such
Hmm.
as this. Um, in the end game, okay, if you aren't pushing your king up the board, we'll have that to be one data point that says maybe you're not, learning.
Hmm.
However, you didn't know that. Now you do. So we'll see. Now here's one
I
thing
feel like I should
I'm
have
gonna.
known that though.
No, I mean you have to look. This is stuff that takes years
Yeah, yeah.
to
Fair enough.
know about and to actually do and say, yeah, but I thought I could break that rule and or I should have or
Oh, I'm
something.
not trying to break
So
any
here,
rules. I'm just trying to fucking make sense of what the hell's going on.
so here you resign. Um, how come?
Oh, fuck this, man. Like every time I resign, I was fucking
So
throw
this
my
is the
phone on
table
the
flip
floor.
strategy, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a strategy, but I react emotionally to these situations, and it doesn't do me any good, right? I just
Okay.
get fucking completely smoked, and it's like
Okay. Sure. All right. Do you at least recognize in this stage of the game that you were completely winning?
yeah. I that's why I was pissed off because I fucking completely threw this game.
No. I'm not saying you were winning
Yeah.
and you lost. I'm saying this position in front of you is a one game for
Ah,
black.
forget about it.
Forget why.
How the fuck how the fuck am I gonna figure this out?
Yeah. Okay. Well, just to give you an idea, the engine believes you are at 7.7 points better than
Mhm.
white. You are
What are those
essentially up
what are
a
those points
queen,
worth?
about a queen. Yeah,
Okay.
you're up more than a rook
Yeah,
in quality of
that's
pieces.
lovely.
So I force you to play.
Yeah.
I'm forcing you to play this
To
game.
finish this game.
Make the move. Make a move.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. It's your only legal move.
Well, there's
Oh,
two.
dang it. You got two.
There's
Okay.
two. Okay.
Make a good
The
move
kings
then.
make a good move. Threaten the knight.
Great. Now, where's the knight go?
Here probably. No, he wouldn't
Cool.
do that. It wouldn't do that.
Well, just did, and you took it and you win. Bang. Okay,
Yeah,
fine. Take it back. Now, where's the knight go?
here.
Cool. Now, king up in an endgame, right?
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Sure. Why not? Except
Yeah.
I'll check you back again. So, how's about instead? Bang. Now what?
Well, now we waste time not taking the knight forever. Right? The knight and the
Why?
king, because the king can't take the knight and the knight can't take the king.
Right. But where's our king going? King goes where in an endgame?
Up.
Right. So, where's your target?
I don't know, the pawn?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Game.
Okay.
Right. So, okay, king up in an endgame. So you learn that, you execute that, you can win the game. Okay. Never resign. We talked about that. You didn't execute it.
Oh, dude, I fucking if you see how many games I resigned this week, I'm ridiculously I'm like very tilted. I
Okay.
feel like
If you're
I'm
tilted, take a break. If you are, if you feel like you are losing too much or are overwhelmed, another thing you can do is play longer time controls. Instead of
no, I
playing
don't think it will
eight
help.
games,
I don't think
eight
that's what it
rapid
is.
games,
Like I don't
you
see
you
it.
you should be able to sit back.
Yeah.
You
Take
should
for
be able to sit back, sip your coffee,
yeah.
wind your watch, then start thinking about the chess position.
Okay.
Yes, chess is hard as a mental game, but that's what we signed up for. So if you are reaching this point of the game and you're so frustrated with it, you have to still look around and say, I've got two pawns
Hmm.
more than he does.
Oh yeah.
So all I got to do is take out that other pawn. You didn't even have to necessarily chase around the knight. You go here, he goes here. You can just go get this guy on your own. 1, 2, and you're dead.
Yeah.
You don't even have to do it that way. 1, 2, and dead. You don't even have to do it that way. 1, 2, and dead, as long as you don't lose it to the knight, right? You could do it. I mean, you can go here, you can go here, you can go here. Like there's a bunch of different ways. Um, but you can go here, you can go here, you can go here, you can go here. So any of these different ways would have won this game. Let me show you a different one. I'm going to show you a different game.
Hmm.
Let me show you this guy. Okay. This is Pete on fire. Right. Pawn in the middle. You're like, hey, wait, you're not supposed to be able to do that. Just stick a pawn in my face. So now we know we take, but that's okay. We'll pass that. You take, great. Go back. Taking queens, no problem. Peace out. Peace is out. Look at you. You've got two knights out and developed. Okay. They got none. No pieces out. So now we, oh, look, a waste move.
Yeah.
Wasted move. You castled. I cannot tell you how many games I've seen of yours where you castle, you win, you don't castle, you lose.
Hmm.
When you castle, it's on our chore list. Develop the pieces, control the center, and castle. Now, let me ask you, who has more pieces developed here?
I do.
Who controls the center?
Oh, I definitely do.
Who's castled?
I am.
Who wins this game?
I probably do not win this game.
God damn it, Pete! Come on,
I don't know. I probably fucked up
this is
somewhere.
a locker room speech, kid.
Yeah,
You win this game.
that's good.
You win the game because you did what you're supposed to do. You developed your pieces. You controlled the center. You castled. Rook a6 is stupid. You guarded stuff. It was attacked. You guarded it. Watch this. This is fun. What does Pete do here? You took the target. Good. And then this is my. Remember earlier, your opponent moved the knight out and you lost the bishop?
Yeah, I do the same thing
Okay.
here, right? I bait the rook into
He
taking that
said,
pawn.
he said, I attacked the pawn with my rook.
Yeah,
Target lock. Rook, pawn, rook, pawn, take,
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Yeah, you target locked. You shouldn't be doing that. He needed to say what changed in the position, and if he did, he would have said this bishop now controls these squares, and he didn't do that because he's rated 500. So, target 1, 1, 2. Heat on fire wins a pawn, and then you just like stomped on him. You just like stood on his neck and killed him.
Well, that's good.
Look at that. Rooks to the center. My God, this warms my heart. Knight in the center, knight in the center, bishop in the center, rooks in the center, rook in the center. Holy crap, is this a powerful white army? And you're like, and you're up material. I mean, it's glorious. Traded. Did you take this and say, oh, I didn't see it? No. You said that's a target. 1 and 1. Let me attack it. Do you remember playing this game?
Yeah, definitely.
What was different in your mind in this game that the other games didn't have? I mean,
My
I don't know.
opponent
I'm
played.
asking.
My opponent played significantly terribly, so much so that I just didn't. You know, I didn't
See,
even have
that's
to
not
try.
but you were up a rook in the other game. And in this one, you had a Pete blunder ready to go, a beginner blunder.
And I
You could
didn't
have
do
just
it.
taken this and said, "Oh, I didn't see it."
Yeah. No, I saw that. I saw that.
Okay, why?
I don't
Help me
know.
out. What did you see?
I don't know. I
Okay.
can't. I
All
can't
right.
like qualify what is perceptible.
So you have the skill and ability to play this game. Look at this.
Sure.
You said my rook is attacked,
Yeah, I
and you
remember
just
this.
chomped that thing.
Yeah, I remember this
Okay.
game. I feel like he just like oh, look, man. The guy's throwing pieces away.
Yeah, I do find it suspicious you've spent 0 time. Your clock is higher than when you started the game.
Right. He's just
I
throwing
find that
pieces
pretty
away.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
you took it, and then he resigns.
Yeah. Makes
Yeah, I
sense.
mean, it's good. I would have, to finish this game, I would have said, "Oh, time to checkmate, so let's go 1, 2, cover that hole." And then I would have went 1, 2, check the king back, and then mate. That's what I would have done. So, um, you you asked me earlier, how do you know you don't have the skill? Well, I look at this game and say, how can you say you don't? How can you honestly look at
Because
this and you
because my opponent didn't even do any. He didn't make any good moves at all. Right in this game, my opponent made only bad moves.
oh,
This guy played better.
wait a minute, did it bad move, bad move, bad move, bad move, bad move, bad move.
If you say so. I didn't
Look at you.
exploit
You
it
have
properly.
okay, right. So there's a saying in chess, the hardest game to win, or the hardest thing in chess is winning a wand game.
Ah,
So you had a wand game in the crush noob crush,
yeah.
and you had a winning game here. And I find it interesting that one of them ended in this position with you totally winning the game.
Yeah.
Not even like earlier you're winning, but you resigned in a winning position here.
Mhm.
And in the other game, you stood on the dude's head. You said he gave me free pieces.
He
I'm like,
did.
well, here you're up 2 pawns, dude.
Yeah, but
So here's what
it
here's
didn't seem to matter.
I want you to sit with your psyche a bit, and
Yeah.
I want you to seriously ask yourself, why did you resign here and over here he resigned?
I know why. I know why. Well, I don't know why he resigned, but I know why I resigned in that first game.
Okay,
Like,
good.
that's not
So
mysterious to me.
this next week,
Yeah.
no more of that.
Oh my god,
No more of that.
it really seems like a lot of miserable time spent losing, right?
There's another saying in chess, which is chess is misery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is that. Um, would you like to perhaps sit in the grandmaster chair for a bit
Sure.
while you lambaste me
I
for
won't
my
lambaste you. I
misdeeds?
like how you play. All right, I'll get a drink and I'll be right back.
Excellent.
So for our second part of the show, you want to start with the quick game?
Sure. Yeah.
19 minutes.
I because I want to show you what I learned.
Great.
I gave you timestamps, I believe, so I'll let you call them out and lead the way.
Sure. So starting off at 57 seconds, we're going to look at the choice of a cap. And what do we see? Okay, so we see of our blizzards, we see Finland, which does something, Rhine, which does something, Netherlands, which does nothing. We have a triple split Africa at the bottom, a significant blizzard in the top of North Africa, Dinarides, and Poland, which works with the Hungary cap. Okay, so we have Scandi pocket into London. Yeah, but you can't cap London because you're on a 1. We have triple split Africa, which is almost certainly garbage. Our 1 line goes up normally. Our 2 line doesn't exist. And the bottom of the map essentially splits into the 1 line. The 3 line is also a corner, and the 4 and the 5 make a pocket orient. Ooh. Okay. So you either take a neighbor cap on orange on the 3. You've good cap choices here. I like neighbor capping orange. I like
Okay.
capping the 2 on the other side of the +8. I don't actually hate the 3 in the back either. I think all of those options are fine.
Okay.
I like the 2 the best here.
So we've ruled out London, right?
Yep, 100%.
On account of it being a 1.
Someone's back
Oh,
there.
I was wondering if I should do London and then also Normandy, right?
No,
Yeah,
I don't think
the
Normandy's
Nor
any good
oh,
at all.
okay.
I think realistically, when you have a Scandi pocket into a 1 point Scotland, just considering how often you see someone in the noob corner, someone's back there.
Okay.
It's just
So I
the
was thinking I didn't want London, not because maybe it was because it was a 1 and I just knew not to do that, but
yeah,
I was thinking somebody will be behind me.
that's the real
So you think
reason.
somebody will go in Scotland?
I think or Oslo.
Okay.
I think the odds of a Scotland or Oslo cap here are very very high.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay,
curious.
so
Do you pick? Do you pick what I say or?
what is your final pick?
I think right to the right of the blizzard, the 2 to the right of the blizzard
Okay.
would be where I would go.
All right,
Do you
let's
like
take a
the
look.
3? You like the 3. It's not a bad move because it claims the East. Right? You're saying with this neighbor cap, you're actually saying to Orange, you can have a really good capital and probably 2 bonuses, and I'll get 1 bonus that's worth the same and we'll be cool.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that is
Okay, that was my idea, and I wanted to be external to the bonus. I want to claim territory behind me, not in front of me.
I wonder if you go for a
So you
turn 1 um, +8 here. So you said green motion at 1 minute and 50 seconds. What do we see from green? See green and
yeah,
orient. Okay.
right. Green's an Orient.
So and
And
we see
so that's all I
white has
really want to
taken position next to the orange capital. So is white going to
white.
let you?
Yeah.
Um, do we think white's going to let you hold the +8?
So I think at the beginning of my first turn, I have to make that decision. So that's why I'm wondering what you would do here.
Yeah,
I have to decide whether white is cool or not.
yeah. So my first turn here looks like. Do we see anything of black or no?
Not really.
So we'll go to 313. Start of your turn.
Oh, he takes Germany, right? Either takes Germany on
Ah,
this turn. Yeah, he takes Germany.
see a little France. Okay, we see a little black in France. Okay, so
Sorry, France
I have
is
a
what I
sense of
meant.
this board. So white is here, green is here, orange is here. Someone's in the new corner. So by process elimination, maybe there's nobody back there. Green's in Germany, and we see the purple capital in Cadiz. Purple's yet to act. I see you lighting up for the +8. The way I take it would be I add 2 to the 3, and the 3 is going to go down through the purple 1 and then to the left. And then I put the rest of my troops on the 2 and go pop into Sevastopol. And the reason I want to light that 2 up is I want the white 4 to see it. I want white to see that you chose not to break him.
Oh, okay. Huh. So
Yes.
so it's kind of like a diplomatic threat.
Yes. I want him
You're
to
saying I
see the
could have.
territory next to his bonus light up, and I want him to see that you didn't do it. Where do you put your
Interesting.
5? You put it on capital. Okay, so you're not really
In-
committing to
but-
the hold, but
right.
it's
I
it,
tried the opposite. I
yeah.
tried the approach of not lighting the 2 intentionally
Well,
because
white knows
I
you took it.
wanted white to say, "Hey, I'm not coming for you. I never had any intention of coming for you." Now here's the thing though. I'm
Yeah,
hitting 2 white territories.
he knows you
The
took
white is
it.
fully aware.
Oh yeah, he knows you took it. Um, so let's see. Orange is +9. Yeah, so we know where orange is. Orange is on um, Dinaric Alps, and white is on southeastern. So white is going to naturally be pinned in by green then.
Right.
Oh, okay. Or we see white smack the crap out of him in Orient. Great. So 4 minutes 29 seconds. Orange turn begins. You have a timestamp.
Yeah.
Orange turn
So he gets
2.
+9, but we already knew that
Yeah.
basically
White
because of
didn't
what you
break
just
you,
said.
which is
But
great.
yes, he did in fact get +9. White did not break me. So we know that orange is cool. And we know that white is
Well, I mean, both of these guys being cool means
aiming.
you win the game very quickly because then you take Russia.
So yeah, if you jump to 509,
Yeah.
we will see some strange stuff start to happen.
Green works on Iceland.
Right.
So maybe green isn't in Orient, right? Maybe he's just the type of guy to roll down 2s. Ah, green's cap is in the middle of the board.
But
Okay.
why? Why would it be there?
Um,
Why would you do
why did
something
he
in
cap
Orient?
Bavaria? Oh, what? No, it was a 2, right? That he rolled down. One.
Okay.
Let's go back to a minute 50. What do we see? Yeah, it was a 3. He had a 3 there. So we see a 2 stack appear in Jordan. So maybe he just won a 3-1, right? On the first turn, we
Uh,
can't necessarily assume that a player, like it's good to be tracking position,
mhm,
but we can't
mhm.
necessarily assume that the player invested in that position. Perhaps they're just rolling a stack that existed, right?
Okay.
And
He was having. I mean, he made like 5 attacks that turn.
we also know that he doesn't have a cap in Bavaria. Did
How do we
green,
know that?
because your starting position, you can see Bavaria because you had a 2 in
Oh,
Normandy.
Bavaria is the bottom Germany,
Yeah.
right?
What did he cap? Did he cap Denmark? All right.
I'm
Let's go back
glad.
to where
I'm
we
glad
were.
to hear this
Yeah.
like equivalent bafflement here
Okay.
because I
Well, I
could
mean,
not figure out what Green was up to.
but
So
he
on
starts with
my
10
turn,
troops. So he has the
yes.
Scandi pocket. And now he's investing material on the outside instead of running a straight line out. Is this just new play? Or is he breaking his opponents on the way out?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I would love to know that.
All right, so now
I'm
I
not
can
sure
already
Green had.
I can already predict the end of this game. So given that
Okay.
it is a 19-minute game, what happens is green destabilizes everyone but you, such that nobody can afford to address you, and you kill them and kill him. Right? Green feeds you this game.
I think that that is an interesting proposition.
Yes. Well,
It is. It's a you're not like, I'm gonna give you like 70.
okay.
Yeah, you get a
There's
C
more.
plus on that
There's
one
more to
as
the
far as that
story.
prognostication. Like, you did very well, though.
Let's see.
That
So
is almost the story of the game. So, my turn starts on 6:19,
619 is your turn too, and
and
on
what do I
turn
do?
two,
Now, I want you to know that I have suffered greatly from taking basically, my MO is take a lot of territory,
hmm,
make sure everyone's mad at me, and then they have to slow me down in the snowball. And then when we hit the 3-player end game, they're like, "Well, we've been beaten up on red so far, might as well
let's just
keep
keep
going."
going. Yeah, yeah, I've been
Like,
there, man.
everybody has to pick somebody, and they've
I've
already
been
been
there.
beating me up since there were 5 people alive.
Sure.
So, am I supposed to take Russia?
Maybe you take most of Russia.
Okay.
I think you start on the orange too, right? You start exactly where you're about to start, the territory you're highlighting. St. Petersburg, I think it is, and you attack up
Okay.
and then split. So far so good. Yeah. Up, split, and then that 3 goes to capital, and the 9 runs itself out until it runs out of you hit the black. Yeah. This is exactly what I would do. Do you roll the 5-2? Good for you. I like this. I like this a lot. Put the 3 on your cap or put the 3 to guard. On cap. It's fine. That's a fine turn. It's
Yay.
very good. It's very greedy. But if you have a
Well,
turn if you turn one
you
plus 8 that holds,
yeah.
why not plus 15?
So right.
Yeah.
Okay, great, because I wouldn't have done that except in our first lesson. Remember you telling me that I was putting too many troops on cap and I should be killing Pink in Spain,
Yep.
like Gascony,
Yep.
and stacking on his capital? So I channeled that energy here and I
Oh,
said, what would Pete do?
this is the second move. Like look at your board position after 2 turns, right?
Right,
Multiple people will have to address this.
right.
Like white knows. I don't think orange can do anything about it because his cap is pinned. Oh, white's happy with this. Maybe he doesn't know. White's fast too. They should know.
Right.
if they're enabling this behavior, it will probably be their detriment.
So I don't understand why White would put 7 on that border.
He's trying to send a message to
I guess so, but the message is I'm out of territories and need to go into you, Red.
you. Where did white cap? Istanbul?
Essentially,
I have a feeling
Bulgaria.
White's not gonna have a very great next turn, are they?
Yeah, I'll give this one to you. It's Bulgaria.
Ah,
Um,
very nice.
which is unfortunate because now I can't break him like easily, you know?
Yeah, you can.
So, well, I can, but then I open his cap is all I'm saying. So
Ah, yeah,
if
yeah.
it was Istanbul,
You
it'd be
want
better
to
for
open
me.
his cap here, I think,
Why that?
because his you want him to exhaust his capital
Okay.
such that you can kill him in the second sequence, right? The ideal time to kill a player on these settings is the second set of trades. So you're about to be putting on an additional 15 troops on the board. You're going to delete white stuff. I think for my turn 3 here, I think I add to the 3, roll through the 7, take all of Orient and break probably into the other +4, opening his cap in the process if necessary, because the only way they retaliate on you is by using capital troops.
Okay. So yeah, you're doing the Sally Forth strategy.
What is that?
Well, a Sally is when you're under siege
Yeah.
and you come out of the castle in order to engage your siege in order to break the siege.
Okay.
So the idea is that you're drawing out the castle troops,
Ah.
right? And of course, the castle in real life, the idea is they're starving to death, so they need to break your siege. But that's the kind of the what I call it in Risk is the 9 in the white capital is sallying to come in.
Yeah. So I think your situation here is that the only players who can address you are white and orange. And
Now, my question is on my turn, do I just smash the hell out of white,
that's right.
or do I just try to hold a blockade in the Orient?
Well, letting white get +6 on top of +4 is bad. And if you're going to break a +6, you probably want to break the +4 as well.
Sure,
So
but do I wipe out all of Orient, or do I
yes,
just step one
yeah,
square in?
because it forces you wipe out all of Orient because it's a third bonus for white to break. I
Okay,
wonder.
so
Do you?
basically he has to retake his stuff.
Yeah, I want you to hit one guy as hard as you possibly can here.
Okay,
I
so
see.
even though it
You
leaves
break on the
Russia
top
weak on
line and
that
you break
border.
on the bottom line. That's also okay. And then, but the only problem with this is that Orange sees that.
Yes.
Yeah. So Orange can see the way you broke. Orange can see that maybe this is an opportune time to come at red.
Okay, I was thinking of it as the opposite way. I'm saying, Orange, you don't have to do anything, man. I'm at war with White. White will take care of this.
Well,
You're
this
you're
is how, okay. Okay,
back.
good, good. You're bringing up a very important point. So remember how you commented earlier that like your play pattern is often get big, get scary, and then get teamed on and killed.
Yes.
Yeah. So the correct time to team on the guy snowballing is when they piss someone off because
Oh,
white
okay.
needs orange's help. But I would go so far as to say the table needs orange's help, right? Like the only
Right.
guy who can stop this snowballing, like white might retaliate. They should, frankly, because their position is lost either way. But
Right.
without orange's help, it's not just white that dies. I think it's everybody.
I definitely agree, and I think White agrees that they are lost either way.
Yeah.
Now, one thing though is I believe Purple. We haven't been paying attention to the story of Purple. Purple is getting a lot of troops because he holds the deep
That
pocket
sweet African
in
pocket. Yeah.
on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a
So
balanced situation here.
yeah. I definitely I
Ah!
like think that White realizes the game is
White quits.
over.
Okay. Oh, poor fella. Yeah.
So, man, once again, Pete the prognosticator. Oh, your position's dead either way. A flag.
Yeah. Well, he knows.
So,
He knows.
right,
I think
right.
here, this is actually a benefit of the neutral bot, right? Because you faced a little bit of retaliation from white, but not enough. So now you can take Istanbul, you can take back Russia and the +8. You lost like a turn of tempo here from his retaliation, but we killed a
Right,
player. And we killed a player
right,
adjacent to our position.
right.
So I think just in every universe, um, taking out white when you did there was had to have been the right move, even if
Okay.
it costs you a little bit in terms of your bonuses.
Well, but that's good though, because now Orange is like, cool, man. Red's been dealt with. So
Yes.
when the whole board sees a flash of +5 for me or whatever it is, +7, because of my
Yeah.
territory bonuses, they're gonna be like, no problem.
Yeah. He wasn't that scary after all. We can draw our eye
Right.
to the other. Yeah. So this is another way that tempo affects these games, is that when player gets big and scary, player gets checked immediately. Everyone pays attention to the next guy who's big and scary, and also you're starting with 9. You're not starting with 7 because you just
Right.
have so much territory. Which is why I think if I would have done it your previous turn, just the only way I would have done it differently to the way you did is I would have stacked on Georgia and gone through on that line, and maybe missed the break on the +4 if his cap was Istanbul, but um, I would have held so much more territory.
You're saying you would have stacked harder going into Romania?
Like you left a 5 stack in Romania that then got
Yes.
popped, right?
Right.
I'm saying if you instead used those troops to take singles, even with your bonuses broken, you would have started with 10
Uh,
troops, say. You'd had another 3 troops on the board.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So
Little things like that.
I should have stacked in Georgia, went through
Yeah.
Orient harder.
But I get why you
Yeah.
didn't want to
I
give
didn't
white
know that
the
though,
hold
because I didn't know where the cap
because
is.
you didn't know where the cap was. That's right. So I get why you didn't want to give him the hold, and that also makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. 1256 orange kills white. Could you have done that? Well, what now we got to do simple troop math. So orange is going to roll a capital. That's -1. That's -7. And 2 more. And how many? So 7, 8, 9, 10. He just paid 8. He paid 10 troops for that kill, right?
Right.
And he's going to get them back. It's flat.
Right.
Yeah, he gets them
Right.
back from a set.
Right. Okay, so I was correct in not killing him early.
I think it's neutral. I think it doesn't matter. But I think we got some bad news for Orange here. I don't think Orange realizes how bad the situation is. This is the appeasement, right? The failure of appeasement. It's like, well, maybe Red will let me be. Also, he's splitting. Like he took the kill. Okay, so
Right.
Orange takes the kill on White, and
Right.
he sees you. He knows he can like do some quick math. He knows how many troops you're about to get.
Right.
If he had a 19 capital and he just
Right.
gave you another bonus, maybe you take it. But with this, I think you just kill him.
Ooh, I kill him on this turn?
I don't know. Do you? Let's see where we're at. 14-20. Okay, 14-11 is a big moment. What happened? We see Black. We see Black rear his ugly head in Prussia.
Right. And then so Black decides I needed to be addressed. So he attacks Orange, and then he does what every player does when another player gets big is they attack the other dude,
Oh
and they
no.
just yeah.
Okay, so but no, this wasn't all right. We're not actually going to attribute any rationale to that play. That
Well,
that was
it
that
it's
was terrible.
so Black turns out
Yeah.
was the capper in Germany,
Hmm.
and Orange would not let him have it.
Ah,
Orange continually broke him. And I
but
think
Germany
he
was
capped
split.
in Germany not noticing Denmark
Ah,
was not
okay.
his. And so when he got knocked out of Denmark, um, he tried to go through France, and then Orange was like, no. And Green was like, no. And then later Purple was like, no. So he just had it.
Oh, why is
He
there a
was
12
just like,
stack off cap? No. Yeah, Orange is playing this one. Wow. What is happening? No. Oh my God. Orange. Jeez. Guess you're gonna kill him with a double tap. I like this.
sort of.
Yeah. Oh
I
wow.
attempt to. So this is where I show my Newbery,
Yes. Yes.
and I messed it up.
You did.
And if I'd only done the 9 first,
Yeah.
I would have the orange
Yeah,
kill.
and you know what, since we're getting granular about the game, I'll demonstrate it for everyone watching. So here's just a simple pathing error. So we reveal the 12 in Alps. Now at this point in the game, we have a 15 active and a 14. Okay? So how do we ensure that we get the kill? What is the most efficient line? The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to run around with the 14 and see, is there any morph orange? And we have what? We actually don't have a ton of time. So we don't have a ton of time to manual. But I think you run around um, Prussia, Bavaria, into France, and then start hitting Alps before you use your bigger stack. And then we still might fail the kill because of the split. So it's tough. It really comes down to dice. But you're going in kind of blind. So
Yeah. And I did this
understand.
before in the game where I steamrolled out of the bottom and saw that red had another cap, so I hit it. So then I saw that red had another cap, so I hit it. All right. And I don't know if anybody remembers that game as well as I do, having watched the video over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you told me I need to come up for air, right? I got surprised. I hit Orange's cap and saw another 12 and got
It's
surprised.
the target lock. It's the exact same phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
You expect to see something, and then when you see something slightly different than you expected, you don't take that little moment to retarget.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's the
Interesting. So
exact same
I got
phenomenon.
yeah, you're right. It kind of caused some panic. And well, I got to hit the 12. And I feel like my timer is just like running. I'm just running out of time, you know?
Dude,
I
you
don't have
you
enough time
missed
to
the
look.
you missed the kill on Orange, and then he sets and does nothing. He's just Orange would like second, please. Oh my god. Oh, that's very funny.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess he just doesn't realize I have more troops. I think that's what I think nobody knows what the fog holds. Orange should know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
but
And I mean,
doesn't
there's no
know.
upside for you to kill him either. He's
Right.
by him setting on 3 and sitting there, he's really just asking for second. I'm
Right.
curious if you give it to him. We get the easy
Okay,
kill on
great.
black.
Thank you, because my last question here is at 1635 on
Yeah,
my turn, or 1630, whatever it is. I have 53 troops. Do I
yeah.
kill orange?
He didn't take a card, so
Right.
you kill him if you want to. No,
I
seriously,
want to
this
win the
is
game.
there is no okay. So you've almost ensured that you've won the game, right? The one guy who could have resisted you the entire time didn't, and now is asking for second. He's asking for mercy. I don't think there's a strategic answer to this question, right? I think
Okay.
mercy in this case is entirely a mood thing, right? Do you
I'm
care to give him mercy? Do you respect his
I am
play?
I'm intrigued that you think that I have a one game.
You don't?
I Because, well, purple is just running over everybody. I know we haven't really been talking about that, but purple killed green.
No.
Purple had something
He
to do with the
he
black
he definitely
two
kills
out.
you're on 5 cards. You have 4 capitals. Okay? Yeah.
Right.
It looks like a one game to me. Yeah, and purple suicides at your capitals. Yeah. Looks like a one game to me. What do you mean?
Okay.
You weren't
Okay.
confident about
Well,
this?
I mean, no, but I didn't know that purple was so. Well, he's almost as large as me. He's getting 30 something a turn. I got 53, but only on this last turn. And so I wasn't sure because I am expecting Orange's vengeance.
Yeah,
And
but he didn't hit
purple
you.
doesn't have to kill orange either.
Yes. That was a throw.
Purple can ask for help
You had
from that
half the board,
24.
4 capitals, and 5 cards. Right? Orange was no longer a factor. You had this game won, and you could have chosen to give him second, and purple decided to take that option off the table for you.
Okay, so that's kind of why I think I played it correctly here. Because he does have a 67 stack, so he should be close to cap running. I know that he can't.
Mm,
I know that, but he doesn't know that. He may think that he can, because he can barely take a 33, but we know how this game goes.
yeah.
I'm not this particular game, I'm saying Risk. We know how Risk Capital's dice go.
Yeah, maybe
So,
he gets
what the
lucky.
reason I left 24 on the board and did not kill orange was because I wanted to bait purple into doing so. I wanted to ask purple to spend 24 troops, guaranteeing himself second.
Ah, yeah, I think you're overthinking it. At this point in the
Dang.
game, Orange had shown nothing but nothing but good vibes your way. You neighbor capped him, that didn't piss him off. You killed the guy behind him, that didn't piss him off. You then tried to kill him and failed to do so. That did right. Like he really didn't retaliate on you at all.
Or sorry about the killing you.
I mean,
My
look,
fault.
this was this more than anything else. This was a positionally won game. You
Okay, great.
you used the good neighbor to your benefit. You used very very temporary alliances to knock the dominoes down in sequence. Right? These guys could only have addressed you if they worked on you simultaneously, but they couldn't because they all realized too late that the train was coming. So
Well, that's what I'd hoped, because that's what you taught me to do with pink,
yeah,
in that one game, is just go, 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 go.
yeah, I
So
like it.
I want to show you a second game here
Okay,
that I unfortunately don't have very good timestamps for, but because the whole game is good. So you're gonna see mistakes.
okay.
Mistakes will be made, and I hope that this is a good educational moment, not just for me, but for the audience, because I'm not exactly clear on what I could have done better.
Okay.
Like sometimes you just attack somebody and then you lose the war and you're like, guess I shouldn't have attacked that guy. But this one is kind of like, I'm not sure exactly where it all went wrong.
Okay, so we start with a neutral bot. So white is neutral.
Yes.
Okay. So our starting position, we start. I love that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I like the 3. I like the 1 better. I pick Vienna here. I think I pick Vienna here. I mean, you could greed for
How
Germany.
come?
That would be fun because it's just a better bonus, right? Blocking orange from thinking they can have it, right? If I'm trying to control the middle and I'm first to act, I am not. I'm essentially capping on a 4 because or a 3 because the 3 is attached to it. So I can do it that way, or I
Okay.
could maybe whole hog greed for generic Alps and Germany if we're really feeling frisky. Uh, that's a play. I don't know if you thought of that, but
Say it
you're
again.
okay. So your 2 comes in to
Yeah.
Prussia.
Right.
So let's say okay. So we
Three
cap
and
we
three
we
goes
cap
out.
Vienna, it becomes a 4. So you
Hmm.
add 2 troops here. That takes you add 2 troops here. That's take, and then that one down into Trieste, and then we fort something to the cap. It will only be a 5 cap, but you're threatening +9 turn 2 if
But
it
it
all
looks pretty
holds.
good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how we move our king up in the end game, just as a rule, you're saying when I'm in the first seat, I go in the center
No, I'm saying when you're in the first seat, you
because
push your advantage,
well,
right?
yeah, yeah.
First
But
seat is the
like
greed
in this
seat.
case, because I can like take okay, so I can take these bonuses, like all the bonuses. So it doesn't matter. I can cap on the one since I'm first to act, and I just want to have a better cap because it claims the more central bonus. Okay, so you said it's a better bonus. Tell me more about why that's a better bonus.
Sure. 3 territories for 4 is strictly speaking the best value, right? It's the fewest
Yes.
territories for the highest number. So it's the best bonus you can get, bang for your buck, territory to generation,
Wasn't
right?
Russia 8 territories for 7?
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9.
What 9 in this? But there's the blizzard. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
okay.
that's what I'm saying. So
And
so
then it's 8. Yeah,
Daenerys
8
Alps is a
with
3 for
blizzard.
4, right? But in this board, it's a
Okay.
2 for 4.
Right. Okay.
So in this board, it gets even better. It's also centrally located. I really love this bonus. Like I can't speak highly enough of Vienna. I think Vienna is the single best capital on the board in a vacuum, and it often tends to be really good. I don't
Okay.
hate Bavaria here at all, but do you go for both bonuses? I want to see your first turn.
What do you think?
I hope you do, but you I don't know. Let's see.
You taught me
Yeah,
to
to be
go
greedy.
for both bonuses.
Good, do it, man. I love it. Okay, I see it. Oh,
So
we're
I
risking
wasn't
three
able
ones.
I rolled a 2v1 and
Oh, I
lost it.
see. I see.
I tried to get
I
2
see. Okay,
bonuses.
okay.
And I was like, I think I say something like if and White might think I'm just being friendly, like just trying to roll out my 2 for him
Uh huh.
with the white capital there in the +8.
Well,
But
White
then I
sees what you
realized
capped. He knows
White doesn't feel much of anything
because he's a bot.
because White is a bot.
Yes, he has no sense of the matter. You also get that cap probably, don't you? Or White capped.
I would love to, but it's neutral bot, so
Oh, it just keeps
I
stacking.
mean if I spend all my troops taking it and then
No, I
lose
don't
it
mean turn
immediately to
one. I
blue.
mean you get that cap eventually, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and well, yes, but anybody can.
Okay.
So, I think for roughly about 440
Mm-hmm.
is my next move. So what am I doing here?
All right. So we get to hold generic Alps. So we're gonna shore it up. We're gonna put we have an off cap 2. We're gonna put 4, and we're gonna use that 4 to take Prussia. That makes sense. And we are gonna have to break blue because they attacked us in Denmark. Looks like we're gonna have to break blue. Okay. And where's blue's capital? Ah, blue's capital is there. So how do you guard your bonuses from blue double breaking? You don't put the 6
Um,
down in Vienna?
do you think I should have put a 6 in
Oh,
Vienna?
I wonder how does he double break you? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he can't afford it. But you're
Right.
now at
So
war.
that was my thought. He can't afford it.
Okay. I hope so.
Because don't forget, I also have to guard Prussia
Yeah,
from blue.
from blue. I see that. That I know. I don't. I think an argument could be made with your fortify to fort the stack to Vienna and then accept that he's going to break the +5 but not the +4. Like if blue wants to go to attrition here turn 2, he can
Right.
sink your game. He can stop this.
Think so? I just assumed I would win that war because again, he's using capital troops to break me, but I still have a bonus to
You'll win
overpower him.
that war, but you're in the middle of the board, and as soon as you've won that war, everyone sees that, and you're next. Right? It's wars of attrition can work in the corners in ways that they can't work in the center. There's too many people that are
A new
watching.
Pete rule.
No, I think it's a good rule though, right? Like if you
No, I know.
this is
I'm
why
not disagreeing. I'm writing I'm writing a note.
you're thinking that
Wars of attrition in corners, not in centers. Got it.
yeah. I
What
think
well, what's the inverse then? What do you do in the center? You can't just like not go to attrition. Like if they want to beat you, they're gonna hit you. So
yeah. I mean
how do you
you've suggested look, if blue doesn't break you, or what he appears to be doing is just not playing, um, you're fine. And then you eat his position up there as well. But like blue might take Southern Sweden and just be happy with the +3. I wouldn't be, but this guy decided that after a single break he wasn't willing to play the game.
Right. Well, that is another good reason to break people is they'll just quit. Half the time you just get a free win out of the person.
Yeah, the neutral bot
So
is very much a thing. Um, it can bite you in the same way, right? So now there's this massive power vacuum around you, all the white material, all the blue material. You have the opportunity to hit stuff and not really offend your neighbors for a while.
right.
So you have
So and
deniability.
okay, so again, you're saying basically because I'm in the center of the board, don't don't do what I did in the last game and just smack white as hard as I can.
I like
Like don't
no,
steamroll.
I still think that play would be correct, um, because in that exact same scenario, orange was the enabler, right? Orange not hitting you is why you won that game. Like white, I like how you played it with white attacking him in a corner. I think it would still
Right.
work here, as long as nobody else really saw what you're doing. Vision is important, but now you're on +16 turn 3, so
Like yeah. I mean, am I so why am I doing so basically I need an enabler.
oh yeah,
Nobody knows I have a cap though. Like nobody knows that I took that cap because I'm next to blue
yep, beautiful.
and it's still round 3 so the symbol doesn't show.
Yep. No, this is
So
beautiful.
nobody's
This is
going
a
to know
beautiful
who
turn 3.
holds
I
the 2
love
caps.
this. I love this turn 3. And now you fort that 3 somewhere to Vienna to the cap. I like that too. Okay, turn 3 was great. Um, I think you could make an argument for a slightly different turn 3. Instead of taking the blue cap there, you take all of Noob Corner.
Mm. So it cost me 8 troops to do that.
Yeah.
To take the okay, you think I should have greeted out for another bonus
Well,
instead of
maybe
cap.
not though, because that might force purple to attack you, right? What you did
Right.
was invisible to purple, so he's not as scared about you as he should be. And he's also getting a bunch, right? He's getting the same amount as you. You got 16, you got 15. So
Right.
now he's taking a +6. You've taken a +3 and a cap, which is essentially +5. I don't hate your third turn, but I don't hate purple's either. So your situation with purple, and purple also has easy break on you, and he's not taking. So
Right.
far, purple is respecting
And
your
like and
boundaries.
orange.
Yep.
Orange has just done nothing but like be cool with me. I don't know why orange isn't taking the white capital.
They don't know it's
I
there
don't know
yet.
why he isn't knocking me out.
Okay, orange takes noob
But
corner. Interesting.
right.
He
And
goes
I
for
say well
split
played.
position. Yeah, you're fine as long as he doesn't break you because you're going to take Russia next turn.
Am I?
I don't
Okay.
know. Are you?
I mean,
How do you? What do you do here?
should I? Okay, so
Okay,
I have 20 troops to work with. What do I do?
before that, do we know where black is?
Oh, I believe I did know where black. Yeah, black. Right. So black came through Russia and wiped me out right before my 4th turn. So you see him hit Russia with 15, then 14, then he hits 11 in whatever like Kharkiv or something like that. Um,
All right,
it's
so
2
20
north of
troops.
Sevastopol.
Turn
Yeah.
4.
So Russia almost belongs to black, but it looks like he fell a troop short or something or missplit or something.
You
So
take
where am I
Italy
going with my
here.
20?
I see. You take Italy here and pin in purple. Huh. Are you trying to force purple into orange?
Yeah, I want him to go along the bottom line.
Yeah.
I want him to go exactly. I'm trying to
Yeah.
force him up and through orange because orange is
On either
also
side.
getting pretty large. I mean, if you look at like the board territory, it looks like I'm pretty large, but orange is getting
Matches.
+5 and +4.
Okay. Purple matches and he indicates with a thanks that he's willing to work with you. This might be a
Right.
deal with the devil.
Right.
Yeah.
Ain't it though?
Well,
So, but like that's the fun of this game is everybody's the devil. We're all the devil. That's what makes it so much fun.
ah, no,
Is
I'm the
that
hero of the story, remember?
that doesn't mean you're not the devil.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so
But I was the hero.
I thought I was the hero. Well done. um I'm trying to okay, so I'm trying to predict the future now. So orange is
Real
fine.
heroes are the people who watch these videos.
Oh yes.
Now that is called pandering, Pete.
I just gave my thumbs up with the star wipe sound effect. So I can pander with the best of them. So okay, so you
I have
orange and
not gotten a
purple.
single like yet.
No? I'll give you a like.
I wonder what it's I wonder what it is.
Look at this right here. You see this, folks? See what I'm doing? Right there. You crush that like button, folks. You know you can like your own videos.
Well, okay, Pete.
Whoa. Black
I do
has
like myself. Gosh darn it, I'm
gosh
good
darn it.
enough.
Yes. Stuart Smalley or whatever. What's his name? Al Franken's
Smiley, right?
character. Smiley. Yes, okay, thank you. I'm not that far off. Black has Istanbul? Did Black
So,
cap Istanbul?
yeah, no,
Okay.
no, black capped somewhere. Well, what timestamp you on?
Okay, so
I've
Orange is letting Black have Orient. Is Orange the
right.
nicest neighbor ever?
What timestamp you on?
Black's turn begins at 1234. And they're putting in 13 troops, and we know they don't have Russia, so process elimination, they must have Orient.
Right.
And then they take Russia, which means they have Istanbul behind Orange. So it's either a cap
Right.
or Orange is just letting this guy have. I'm curious. Do you go take a look?
Well, I have to.
Yes.
And yep. And then of course the cap is completely undefended.
The cap is where? In the neck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see it at 1340.
And we're going in. We're debating. We're considering. We're going to add to that 8 cap. We're going to punch right through. No? Okay, we're going to add to Prussia. Because we don't want to face pressure from the east. Okay, I like that. I like a couple of troops there.
Yeah, Prussia faces the black 8 across the top of the white cap.
What a terrible fuck. Oh my God. Yeah, you put your 3 on the top cap. You put some troops on the top cap because you're not worried about purple. This is good. This is a really good. I don't even think 8 is might be even too many. Like you really don't care about that Finland cap, but what does purple do here?
I think it was to stop black from trying to break my bonus up there in retribution.
Yeah. Black's gonna completely die. Your trick here too is how do you get the black hill without feeding it to orange? Because orange is gonna see right now that you've taken everything from him.
So black runs through everything I've got.
Yeah.
15 minutes, which we expected.
We did expect.
Again, I thought this was, until this last game, I thought this was a good thing because it tells other players that he beat me up. And I only realize now watching this that nobody could see that. Like, I don't think there's even a single territory that anybody could see.
Well, and you still start with 15. So he fed.
Yeah.
Are you calculating his kill right here? Good.
Yes.
He fed you his own kill, but you know Istanbul.
Yeah.
You miss Istanbul, don't you? You miss Istanbul, don't you? Oh, you got to count. You got to count. Okay. Well, no, listen. Is this the mistake you're kind of pointing to?
Yes.
You also don't check Sevastopol.
This is well, correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Um,
So we give it to
and
white. Or sorry, we give it to orange.
yeah, I'm just kind of embarrassed by that because
Why?
I thought I would be better at this by then, but I'm clearly not. So this is like I don't know. This is the classic expert play, I think.
Ah, feed and kills.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just like, and then purple finally says, "Hey, what's up, red?" And
Yeah.
he threatens me hard. So if you go to 16, 16, 10,
Yeah.
16, 18.
He sits on your cap there.
Right. What's he trying to do? Is he thinking? Is he sending a message?
Well, he didn't light it up, but he was definitely
Right.
thinking about rolling your capital.
So what do I do with that information?
Not much.
Not much.
No, I don't take that one terribly poorly. Purple's enabling your bullshit. You now have half the map again. You forget. Here's a nice heuristic for us to dwell on.
Yes.
One of the great things about playing these settings hyper aggressive is that it takes a while for the sets to catch up. We're in the first sequence now, right?
Right.
You have 69 troops and 3 capitals.
Nice.
You know? Yeah, nice. Exactly. You fed a kill. Those 5 cards are worth
But
15 troops. Big deal.
right. Right. But orange doesn't take it.
Yeah. So
I don't know why.
Black's still pissed off at you, and he comes at you again.
Right. Right. So I this proves that he's not in Sevastopol.
Oh, I want to see Black's turn here. This is his last hurrah. Okay,
Right.
but it'll be good because you'll get a
Unfortunately,
3
we
card
don't get
kill.
to see it
Why not? Oh, he goes into purple.
because it's invisible. It's in the fog.
He goes into purple.
Yes.
Well, that worked
And
out very
orange.
nicely. And
And
orange,
orange.
yes, of
Because
course.
because like how's it saying go? It's like the only thing worse than violence is betrayal or something like that.
Oh
Right?
my god, him going into
It's
purple
like
is too
I
good.
think that he thought purple was gonna go into me. I can't quite figure it out because it's alliances are off, so they're not talking
He
about hitting
might be
me or
trying to
anything.
hide. So you kill him here. You kill Black for sure, 100%.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
You don't? Do you check Sevastopol? You're not. I don't. I can't tell if you're doing it or not. Yeah, sarcasm levels are high. Please.
Well, what timestamp you watching?
Right now we're hitting Black at 1808.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fun starts.
Oh god. Oh my god, he is in
More
Sevastopol, isn't he?
expert play about to happen
Oh
here,
dude,
folks.
please. No, the sliders. No. Oh my goodness. And you can't win a 2v1 at the very end of the chain. Oh my god.
Right.
Yeah. So we fed
Yeah.
the same guy twice. Oh, and Purple thanks you with that. Oh my god. Yeah, he knows. Purple's good. Does
Yeah.
he
I
reward
mean,
you?
if you hey,
Yeah.
look, folks, if you were just tired of watching Pete win all the time, come on down to Phoenix Ruins a Game.
Oh, I lose a lot too. They
I'll
just
show you how you can lose this. Would you like half the board and still lose? Because that's kind of like my jam.
why is he
That's
coming
like
at
that's like
you
how
though? Okay, no, he didn't come at you. He retook his shit. You're still
right.
getting away with murder. You fed this
And I would
guy's
like
kill twice and it still didn't sink your game.
well, I would like to point out though,
Yes.
how many players are alive, Pete?
3. This is what
Has purple
happens.
hit me? Has orange hit me?
Not
Like,
yet though.
and so okay, but now so this is where the real actual like
Okay.
uh so so-called fun and games stops. And now we have to win.
Yep.
So like orange takes Denaric Alps from me
Sure.
and
And
I'm getting
they also break
30.
Istanbul.
Uh-huh. And Italy.
Yeah. Oh,
So
and Italy?
declaration of war, right?
And
So
Italy?
what am I supposed to do?
Here?
Yeah. At
Waiting for
20
I'm
minutes
still waiting for
something.
them to break Italy. They do. Wow. Who is this? This guy's history's greatest monster. All right. So obviously you accept that he does not want you to be in that he no longer wishes to be in the noob corner. And you see that his cap is closed. right?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so I think here is I take the noob corner, I take back to Nair caps, I don't break his +4, and I don't open his cap.
Okay.
That's how I play this. Because
Okay.
I want orange to those 4 troops don't matter, but his cap mobility does. And I want orange to be stuck there for one more turn and think about his life choices. And if he wants to
Okay.
go first and second with you, you don't really give him the ability to. Oh, yeah, purple hits your cap. Oh my god.
So my thinking
Hey,
was
just a sec, just a sec. Okay, so you're gonna retaliate on um orange, right? You want. I would assume you don't want orange holding like noob corner after he declared war. This is
so I wasn't sure that he
2030.
was declaring war. I thought maybe he was trying to make us equals. And
Balance.
trying to say, "Hey, I want a little bit of board from me because otherwise you're gonna steamroll me." And I thought maybe it was a little bit of retribution for breaking him in Southeast Europe as if, like, he didn't know I was killing black because I didn't, right? I didn't kill black.
Right,
So I
fair
thought maybe he just
enough.
didn't know that.
Fair enough. But purple
And
gets a
purple
good
killed
roll
black.
on your Finland cap. That sucks.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's like it's like usual, right? That's
Yeah,
kinda
usual
what you
good
want.
roll. And if we see him fort troops to it, so that's him saying I'm gonna continue to be an asshole.
Right.
Okay. So this is the inflection point, right? This is where this
Right.
moment, 21-18, is where the snowball officially ends. So we
Right.
cannot win this game with overwhelming strength, right? We
Right.
will have to accept that we will be winning this game with some variety of patience, guile, card blocking, and diplomacy,
Diplomacy, right.
right?
Uh-huh.
And I can see that this game only lasts another 11 minutes.
Right.
So I'm
So
guessing
I've
that the
got
diplomacy goes badly for you.
I'm trying to figure out well, this is kinda like again, it's like my MO, it's like what I do, it's I make enemies I get big, I make enemies by not doing anything, right? Just by, like, killing the people who are dead, I get big, people hate that, they come at me and they say, "Why not team on him?" And then they do. Um, and then I think what you're supposed to do is then go on Reddit and talk about how collab is a big problem. Pretty sure
You
that's how
think
you
these guys are
go.
collabing?
No. No, I just no, let me tell you this. When I hear a streamer, when I'm listening to like a video, watching a video or something, and they say something like, "I think these guys are collabing," I start a timer and then I stop it when they say, "Oh no, they hit each other,"
Yeah.
and then I win,
Yeah.
right? And like if they can do that in under 4 minutes, I win, and like my record's really good. So basically, anytime somebody says there's collab, I'm like, I bet they take that one back in now, and then they do.
Okay.
So
I
no,
see
these
you
guys are not
struggling.
collabing. They are just trying to play the game in the way that I think that they're going to win, and I'm in the middle of the board. And so
Yeah.
this is, I think, my crime has been I'm in the middle.
Okay. I let me pick at 20. I'm not sure what number turn this is, but 22 minutes. I see you struggling with your true placement. You don't know what to do. Tell me what you
Right.
were thinking at the beginning of this turn. You have a set.
Okay.
5 cards, you have 2 caps. One has 18 on it, one has 41 on it. What do you do with this board?
Okay. Um, what I'm trying to do is I am trying to show purple that I am willing to drag him to the bottom of the lake with me
Ah.
because I haven't really done much to Orange, and I think that Orange might be a worse player, and we actually had some sort of a cool thing going in the beginning, right? And we still were nice on the borders of like Scandinavia. And when he declared war on me, I wasn't so sure that it was a violent war. I thought it could just be a little bit of a brushback between friends.
Okay,
I thought he
let me
he was
stop you
wanting to
there.
try it. So I had to pick an enemy here. And so I
Let
chose
me stop you there. Let me stop you there.
okay.
Orange took his +4 back. He took Istanbul, which he was letting black hold
Right.
to fuck you.
Right.
He stole a +4,
Right.
waited until the end of his clock, and roll a 3v1 to break your Italy.
Right.
I humbly suggest your read on this man is off. This is not someone who is interested
No,
in working with you.
you're right. No, I understand that, but I
Okay.
have to,
Hope.
as far as I understand the three-player endgame, I have to treat one person as a friend and another as an enemy because I cannot treat them both as enemies. And I
Well,
certainly can't treat them both as friends.
so here is the quintessential cap stack pass moment. This is
Oh,
the
okay.
yes. This is the moment where doing anything gets you killed.
Huh.
You have to let these guys take board and start a war with each other. This is the exact time, in my opinion, it is correct to do that before they've almost run out of any of you to hit. Right? You have a cap
Right.
blocking a pocket. You have a couple ancillary threes that don't matter. And you have a giant cap in the middle of the board that's going to be open in all directions. So they can't kill you,
Okay.
but they can have a ton of sunk cost fallacy associated with their bonuses. And we're quickly reaching that crucial turn. And that's why I'm pointing it out, right? This is the moment where it flips, where the game becomes far more about the cards than it does about the bonuses. And maybe they let you hold Germany because you're captain. And then maybe they let you hold something else. But the only way you're winning this game from this point is not antagonizing either of them, I think.
So I treat them both as friends.
You treat them both as you hope that both hit each other. Because
Okay.
they've shown that they're willing to hit you. And when people show me what they're willing to do, at some point you want to take the message. It's like, okay, right? Purple is going to steal a cap from me. If orange is going to steal bonuses from me, if orange is going to break shit, yeah, you're hitting a lot. You're giving up a lot of equity that should be on capital here. 43 cap is fine, but you're not going to hold any of that. You're giving them an excuse to hit you again.
Okay. So basically I need to get as small as possible.
Yeah, fewest territories. You've two caps. You're good. No one's going to want that shitty cap anyways, off to the
Right.
side. So
Right.
it's just going to guarantee you a cap card in the late game, and your main cap is huge, and it's great. It sees the board. You're going to see who hits who. These guys will run out of cards on you to hit, and then they will jockey for position, and then hopefully, like if they're not collabing, it will be very, very difficult for them to kill you. Right? Because you just have one big cap on the board. They're going to have to decide to work together well, and they're going to have to know how to do that. I'm curious to get to the end and see the ranks, but we're already talking like for that to happen, for you to be card blocked in the middle of the board on a Bavaria cap that's open. Bavaria cap has on this board what, 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cap cards, and the seventh is blizzarded. Right? You got 6 cap cards, man. No one's and a backup cap. Like I don't think these guys have the ability to block you.
Okay.
But
So at 25 minutes and 20 seconds,
they
I
do.
decide to go nuclear, I think.
You took Finland
Perhaps.
back.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Because I still think there's a chance that I can block purple. Like purple doesn't have like that many cards. If I knock him out of the east and north, if I can run him into the west, it's like fairly easy to get, I guess, to get a card block or at least send him into orange.
Yep.
So that was my idea: is take the cap back, trust in the broken dice, use that to my advantage.
Yeah.
But I basically keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Exactly. Yeah. Remember turn 3 of this game, you had 69 troops.
Right.
We're now in the third sequence of trades, and
Right.
you have 87. I think knowing when the inflection point of the game is crucial, and I think reading who's going to let you hold anything. Orange is adamant, right? They've broken you everything you've held every single time, right?
So it's purple.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
And
man, it's a tough spot.
at one point, purple sent the robot heart eyes
To you or to them?
to orange.
Yeah. So
I mean,
You
it's
got
classic. Just
if
get teamed,
if you're
right?
yeah, but if you're playing to win here, your job is to make it as annoying for them as humanly possible. And if you don't care about winning, you want to send a message and you can sue out into one of them, right? Because it looks like no, seriously, because if you're gonna get third anyways,
Right.
you know,
Well, I'm past the point where I can actually meaningfully
yeah.
hit anybody. So at 29 minutes, I have 50 troops.
And you go down to one cap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, does someone hit your 16, or do you intentionally put the Finland cap back onto the Bavaria? Oh, you're still hitting.
Orange, no, orange hits it. They lose 31 on a 16,
Oh
and
yeah, you
then
keep shrinking. I see.
yeah, it doesn't much matter at this point.
Yeah.
So basically, I think that the main error that I made, well, other than failing kills in a hilarious and sad way, I think it was that I was basically too aggressive. You're saying against fighting back in the three-player endgame, just don't fight.
If you're getting teamed on, there's
Yeah,
a completely different strategy. So I think the way I'm hearing you talk right now, you had an expectation of being able to work with one of these guys, and
right,
were then every time you tried, were proven wrong. And I
right,
think your read on Orange was he was never going to work with you. And I agree. I
right.
think Orange is a lower skill level than Purple. I think Purple's a better opponent, and you would have liked to have gone into 1v1 with Orange if you had the choice.
Right.
Um, but at some point, if the only thing that matters here is playing to win, we have an excellent cap. It's going to take them a long ass time to card block you. So hitting them and having them both hitting both guys, having them both retake, is the surest way to get third in the 3-player.
Well, if you take a look at the ranks, it all makes sense.
Noobs,
Well, no.
let's
We
see.
have an expert in purple.
Okay. Okay.
We've got a
Oh, a
master.
master in orange. Orange is
Yes.
better than purple. Interesting. I
And
wouldn't have read
then
that.
and then first turn quitter is, of
I'm
course,
surprised
the
it's there.
novice.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. And
white
and
never played. White was
and
a
a
bot the
terrible
whole
cap
time.
in a split position. Um,
So it's a victory for the ranking system.
in what way?
While we all went out in order.
Ah, sure. You got third though.
Right. I'm an expert, so I was
Oh,
probably
yeah. Okay, I figured you were a master
lower
at
than
least.
purple. So I
It's
was a master at
yeah.
one point, but the season got me again. I was up there and I got knocked all the way down to 11,000 again. Back
Okay.
up to like 13 and a half. So we'll see how if I can get there this week to master. So
Yeah,
it takes more games is the
I think
issue.
the big lesson of this game I want you to take away is that because I think I've seen you do this now a couple of times. And it's tricky. This is a big lesson, and I'm highlighting it again for the sake of the show. Is that if you're in a 3-player and you're getting teamed on, and it's early enough, and you can recognize that this is happening, then preserve your troops and preserve your cap cards and make it as fucking annoying as possible for these guys to kill you, such that they eventually lose patience and go to war with each other. If you give them
Hedgehog,
nothing, if you give them nothing
right?
to hit, you know,
Yeah,
they'll
right.
eventually. It's like, oh man, I don't want to stalemate. Nobody does. What are you gonna do about it? Because you can't hit me anymore. There's nothing left.
Huh.
Doesn't
Okay.
always work, but that's how I think you would have gotten out of this.
And when do you know when that transition point is where you have to
We
stop fighting?
pointed it out exactly. So it was 20 minutes in. You've been
Right.
holding
And
a
how do I
ton
know
of
that
board.
that's in general, generally speaking, how
How
do
do
I
we
know that it's
articulate?
that point?
Sure. So in this turn, if we go to 1956, I'll tell you the exact point.
Okay.
So we're in Orange's turn, 1952, 1953. Orange he's stolen your Vienna, and he waited a bunch of his clock to roll Alps, and then ended his turn.
Right.
There is no clearer sign in this world that master is never going to work with you.
What does the clock have to do with anything?
Well,
Is
how
he
did the
giving like or is he giving the impression that to purple that he's
he
hitting me
was
more?
thinking about it. right?
Okay.
This turn is such a tell. Starting at 19 minutes, um, Orange adds to Bulgaria, right? The very first move they make is unfriendly to you.
Right.
Okay, so they add to Bulgaria, or do they add to Cap?
I think at this point I was still thinking that Orange just wasn't very good, and I
Oh
was
no,
very
yeah,
wrong.
yeah. Um, so 9v3 breaks a bonus, retake, steals a bonus, waits a while, waits like a good closes Cap, right? That Cap
Right.
was trying to go up and break your Russia,
Right.
couldn't. Maybe you missed that, like that was what he was trying to do. He was trying to break everything. He
Right.
didn't. He
No, I understand.
accidentally left you with things. He didn't mean to leave you with anything at all. He meant to break
Hmm.
everything you had.
Right.
Right. This
True.
guy is never
Okay.
working with you. So
Okay.
this,
Well, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't break me in Scandinavia.
yeah,
Purple did
but
that.
he meant to, right?
Right.
If he because well, he did know the white cap was there. I guess not. I don't know. I don't know about that actually. Maybe he didn't mean to. Why would you close your cap off on that line?
Why would who close my cap?
Purple
Me?
or sorry, orange closes cap off. He didn't mean to
Yeah.
break you because he saw the white cap.
Yeah.
He was thinking about rolling the white cap. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I think
We'll have to
after
get him on the show, right?
exactly. I think after and you're in the middle too in the turn order.
Yeah.
Purple does the rest. Yeah, look, I think you played this game well. I think if you had gotten the Black Hill either time, be a different story.
Ugh, 2v1. There were two 2v1s. I would have got the Germany bonus earlier. I would have killed black.
Well, there you have
Oh
it,
well.
man. I think
That's risk.
I think you did quite well, and I look forward to seeing what you have for me next week.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what games you play this week. Play
I'll,
slower.
I'll try. Yeah,
Spread your vision around, take your time. Look around the board.
so I should stop
And I
rushing
can't
right
wait
now.
to see these videos posted. I can't wait for people to start telling us what you like about this video and maybe consider hitting the like button. Maybe, if you like it.
If you like the video, yeah, any and all feedback is welcome, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you're enjoying the chess and risk coaching that we have come up with. I think this is a very interesting idea. Feedback is very welcome. Thoughts on how we could package this? Maybe I've been kicking around the idea of splitting them up into the chess segment and the risk segment, but for right now, I'm having fun with it, and I hope you are too.
I'm having fun too, and I hope you
Awesome.
guys are as well. And I
Yeah.
will see you guys next week.
All right. Good night.